A lot of people will ask me, what is a cochlear implant? Cochlear implant is a surgically implanted device that bypasses the damaged part of the inner ear. It sends electrical impulses up the hearing nerve to the brain so people can hear and understand speech. A cochlear implant is comprised of two components. There's an internal implanted device, and there's also an external speech processor. The speech processor picks up the sounds, codes it, and then sends it through a radio signal to the internal device, and that allows that device to stimulate the nerve and allow the brain to hear sounds. Surgical time for a cochlear implant it's a same-day procedure. Usually ranges from about 2.5 to 3 hours of surgical time. Most patients go home that same day. We wait 2.5 to 3 weeks to actually turn the cochlear implant on, so that's when the patient comes back to see me, and I do the programming of the implant. Most adults who get a cochlear implant can start to understand open set speech. Many of them are able to understand on the telephone, can understand the TV, and do much better in quiet and in noise than they did with their hearing aids. Little children, it's been shown that if they get an implant early enough, usually by about the age of 1, and definitely before the age of 2.5, if they receive appropriate intervention and therapy, can develop speech and language that's on par with their peers of their same age. Hearing loss definitely impacts quality of life for a lot of people. What can happen when someone has a substantial enough hearing loss where they're a candidate for a cochlear implant? One, if they're an adult, they become more socially isolated. They don't like to go to places that are noisy. They don't want to go out to the restaurant. Sometimes they'll even start to avoid things like church just because it's such a noisy environment. They become more socially isolated, and then their quality of life can decrease. When they get a cochlear implant, it reintroduces the sounds back into the world so they can hear people better, they understand more, they don't say what as often, and they feel more reconnected to the world.